Hey, morning everybody. It is about 7:36 on this Saturday morning. Yes, it is Saturday morning. And no, my bedroom door ain't closed or anything. Um, and the reason being is because my mom is going to a conference today in Oakland, so I have the whole house to myself up until about 7 or 6:45 at the most, or at the least, I should say. But anyway, I was just reading an article on DeviantArt from Sonic SatAm X93, otherwise known here on YouTube as Jonathan83X and LaserX5 elsewhere. And basically, they wanted to get something off their chest. They were basically always wondering, why, I guess as they put it, fans make excuses for when, as they look at it, for when Sonic, like I say, as they look at it in the comics, recently, over the past year or so, has acted like a jerk or a dick. Well, a lot of people have kind of given their own reasonings to that. Some have said, look, one person basically said, look, gave basically an explanation as to why Sonic would act differently at certain times. Now, I do agree with one thing some people have said. Throughout the comic, or throughout this arc, from what I've read through summaries and seen through scans, if Sonic was such a dick and such a jerk, then why would he stay behind and help people instead of going after Sally? He wouldn't, right? Instead, he'd go after her and say, hey, screw the village, screw those people, I'm going after Sal. No, he stayed behind. You see, if again Sonic was a jerk and everything, he wouldn't have stayed behind and helped those people. True. True, he snapped a few times, it seems, throughout, from what I understand, throughout the arc. Snapped at Silver for accusing a comatose Antoine. Snapped at Jeffrey for what he's done. You know, and again snapped at Silver in 247, along with Amy. But he had good reason. And true, some people might say, well, if he did act like a jerk, he did act like a dick, he has a reason to. He's gone through a lot of crap so far. Crap he wouldn't expect. And that might be true even in real life. There's been a couple of times I can recall that my parents would come home from a stressful day at work, and one of them, at most, basically be like, "Hey, don't we basically let you right then and there know, let you and the other parent know, hey, and let our other parent know, hey, don't bug me right now. I've had a rough week. I've had a rough day. I don't want to deal with any crap right now." Which is true. Which is true. And that's basically sort of what I think some people are trying to say what Sonic's going through right now. That he was going through at the time. I mean, even right now. The fact that he's going through so much crap. He's going around the world with his friends to save villages and all that and ultimately get Sally back. But basically, the last thing he needs is someone coming up to him and saying, oh, by the way, the person you're trying to save is the one who betrays you guys. He's causing my future to go downhill. And you can't blame somebody for acting the way they would if you have somebody accusing the person you're trying to save as being the traitor, until at least they explain to you, oh, by the way, it's not really their fault because they're doing it against their will. Um, but but again, one person tried to explain, hey, look, he had reasons to, and then all the other times he was doing what was supposed to be done. They even quoted something he said. I think it was what Sonic said in one of the issues, like, hey, we can't abandon these people just to go rescue Sal. We're about helping people and beating down Eggman, not just rescuing Sally. You kind of get the idea. But for anybody that says he acts like a jerk and a dick at times, hey, that's your opinion. But let it be known that Flynn is just writing him the best he can to what Sega wants. Let's not forget, Sega has the last say in most things. So when they say, hey, we have no problem with the story arc, we have no problem if you roboticize Sally, we have no problem if you roboticize our main game characters for the crossover. We have no problem with that. But what we want is for you to make Sonic seem just like he does in the games. Even though people may not agree with it, keep him the way he is in the games. Now you might say, well, wait a minute. Sonic's has had most of his friends roboticized. Why would he still act the way he is in the games? Because that's Sonic in their eyes. And mostly it's a sales pitch. It's a sales pitch to the newer fans that read the comics and say, hey, you want more of this character, check him out in the games. Check him out in all the games that he's come out with. Or that he's come out in. You'll like him there. You see, that's the whole point about why Sonic acts the way he does. Whether we think he acts like a jerk, or whether we think he's just acting the way he is because that's who he is. It's basically not Archie's fault. It's not Ian's fault. It's mostly because Sega, they do mandate it, but basically it's because it's a sales pitch. It's to pitch this character to the newer fans. For when they go and buy the games, they see the similarities, if not the same attitude they see in the comics, they'll see in the game, and vice versa. So, but the question is, has Sonic acted like a jerk in the recent arc? It's all up to opinion. It's all up to mass opinion. So, what do you guys think? Do you agree with what Jonathan83X has said? Or do you think that perhaps Flynn is doing the best he can to basically write a Sonic in there that not only the fans will like, but what Sega requires? Because when you think about it, in Sega's mind, in their state of mind, Sonic's supposed to be the kind of hero that no matter what Eggman throws at him, he just shrugs it off like, that was nothing. Is there better? Is that the best you could do? Come on, I thought you could do more. I mean, why do you think when they did Generations, he's telling Tails that, hey, what's going on is no different than what he's done before? Just like, hey, it's no big deal. It'll be taken care of. No big deal. Because the thing is, if you have a Sonic that's not like that in some ways, it's basically in the eyes of Sega, it's not their Sonic. It's not the Sonic the fans know of. So, again, the question is, do you agree? Has he been acting like a jerk? Or is it just what Sega wants? Let me know what you guys think. Comment below, and I'll talk to you later. And sorry about the sniffles, I got a cold. Or allergies.